Hello, this is your friend Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo speaking in Virginia. Let's tackle something which is very important in our relationships, and that is admitting that there is a problem existing or going on in the relationship. It could be between you and your parents, you and your in-laws, but we want to focus a lot on between you and your fiancé in courtship, or someone you are dating with the mind that, the one looks good, I want to explore. It appears is something that is going to be possible for us to come together and court and then see if we can finally marry. Or in your marriage and in your home, even if you are divorced or separated or widow or widower, whatever state you are in, you relate to people. It's not easy to admit that I need help, something wrong is going on. Typically in our relationships, when there is a conflict going on. You see, in Proverbs 21 verse 2, God says, a man's ways are great, wonderful in his own eyes. But the Lord weighs the heart. He looks on the heart, the center of your soul, the seat of your emotions. Now, it's often said that one of the hardest things to do for any human being is to admit your errors, your faults before your fellow men. You need to acknowledge there is a problem. In conflict resolution, that is where I start from. You must acknowledge there is a problem. If you don't think there is a problem, then you won't think there's a solution. So the first step in solving any problem is to admit, acknowledge, this is a problem, so I have to do something about it. Maybe you are listening right now and you realize that some things you took for granted in the past, they have taken their toll. You have sowed and you are reaping big time. It shouldn't have been, but it's not too late, because those things you are ignoring and refusing to admit, or whatever you are doing to it right now, you're going to reap it down the road. I tried to list some of the primary reasons why we refuse to admit that there is a problem. You can add your own. Number one, pride. Pride won't let us admit that I got a problem and something is going on. It doesn't want anyone to know something is wrong. He has given the impression that maybe he holds a leadership position from the nation to the community, to your church, to ministry, or an organization. So he or she shouldn't have problems. It's a shame. Yes, of course. But between the two of us in the marriage, the two of us in the home, at the board meeting, at the executive level, let us admit something is wrong. Sometimes before the other executive members or other board members or other members of the team, it's not easy to talk about it. But when I see you in private and I'm talking about it, admit it for us to work on it or seek for help. Sometimes it's not easy because you can't trust people. And when you shared something the other day, it went too far and it became something else. So you find it difficult to share. You may use the word shy. See, I don't want to categorize he's very shy and very private type of person, because the roots of some of those things are not good. You see, sometimes the pride you don't want to share, you call it, I'm shy. But it's not actual shyness. But a number of shyness situations have their root in pride. You see, you don't want anyone to see you making a mistake, so you wouldn't talk, you wouldn't do anything, you wouldn't want to perform in public because you may make mistakes, because you're not an expert. If you don't want to make mistakes, it means you don't want to learn, you will do nothing. You see, you do nothing. And there are people sitting in churches and groups and organizations and so many other places doing nothing in classrooms and workplaces and in groups, doing nothing because they feel inferior. There was a land conservation organization I was a member of. I was the only black, first of all, not just the only African. The rest were white, and almost all of them were women. And, I'm an ecologist, biologist, taxonomist, macrobiologist. I do all kinds of biology. I teach anatomy, physiology. I did all kinds of biology in so many different countries and places. So that's what happened. So they knew me as an ecologist, and they asked me in the city of Hampton, what I'm speaking now, to be a member of. And it's the first ever conservative or conservation, that's a better word, conservation organization for the city of Hampton. You see, this area is where America started from somehow, and in 1609 is another history. Okay, the Hampton Roads, Williamsburg, Yorktown area, this area. So it was a historic thing. I was on it for a number of years, about 5 years or so. You see. But a number of the meetings, I realized I wasn't talking because, not as I was feeling inferior. Here is not tropical, which I'm so used to. I know more tropical plants than temperate plants. So I know the principles and things, but sometimes when they talk about the things, the confidence for you to come out, you know stuff, you talk, but then you are careful. See, and I realized it wasn't easy for me to be speaking at the beginning because I'm a foreigner. And there were one or two men, later they dropped out. So it was all ladies, and most of them are older ladies, white ladies. I was only black, and only men at the latter stages, And if you're not careful, some feelings you can't use words to describe, doesn't make you comfortable and all the rest of them. Sometimes it is inferiority complex. Or you may have superiority complex. Hey, I'm the man here. Hey, listen to me, you see. But find out what is rooted in pride. A lot of people won't admit something is going on. Typically conflict. And let's do something about it. It's okay. No question is ever settled until it is settled right. It is not okay. Another reason why people don't want to admit that something is going on, let's do something about it, is greed and selfishness. You see, if I admit it, that the finances are not going the way they're supposed to go, and we discuss more and joint financial management, it's not going to make me keep selfishly what I get, which I don't want my partner to know. So I don't want us to, it's like keep your money, keep my money, keep your money, I keep mine, and you take the rent, and I take this one, and I take the food and the kitchen, and you take this. What kind of marriage is that? It's the same way. The same way. They don't want you to know certain things going on, and there's a problem to be solved. Because when you happen to know, you may exploit it, or you may leave the group, or leave the organization, or not get involved anymore. So our selfishness and our greed, wanting to be in charge and control and manipulate or get all to eat, get the lion's share, is making us not admit, because the moment I admit, then something has to be done. There was a time I was starting this, actually pastors and ministers kind of group for the whole of Ghana. And some of you remember we met in Royal House Chapel in Accra, just using the place. See, the overseer allowed us to use the place. And the announcement was made only in 3 days, but we had 138 ministers, pastors. And I remember a bishop said, wow, 3 days announcement, you had 138 pastors? That is huge success. Well, for some reason, we couldn't continue for number of so many things, ideas. But we had leading ministers in the country coming to speak. Because I called them and asked them to come around. Let's unite as a body from all the denominations. And there was one of the leaders in the Pentecostal Council who was one of the speakers. And he said something I always remember. He said, some of us in this country and groups and the church don't want things to change, because the moment that things change, the gains and the profits that we get and the control we have, we'll lose them. So we want things to remain the same at the mediocre level without going up, because that is what will make us operate the way we want to. I said, wow. Is that true? Sometimes that is how it is in your marriage, in the group which you belong to, in your church, in your ministry, in the business. You see, at the top level of government, of any country. Some people don't want change, because the moment the change comes, we become disciplined and strict, we will not get the gains, the corrupt gains, the gains, the profits. Lord have mercy. So selfishness won't let you admit we need to solve this problem in our marriage, in our courtship, and in this relationship with you. The third one is deceit. You see, oh, I can cope with it. It's okay. Every marriage has problems. Every courtship, every group has problems, and we are trying to cope with it. But sooner or later, it explodes. We allow the drip, drip, drip water to come into the boat. It is going to sink the ship. The boat will sink. Okay. This is nothing to deal with. It is something to deal with when it snowballs into a huge problem. A huge problem. And we allow it to go on until it gets out of our hands. Someone can hijack a whole group in the name of helping and stop other people from contributing to help. And then we let the one go and go until he crashes the group. Especially if it's a Christian group and he's doing it in a carnal way, power of God can't come down and mix with carnality and arrogance and pride and foolishness. It's bankrupting the group, because the people are not getting up to come together and harness, put together all the resources from all the corners and be responsible. And you see someone and one runs with it, or two people run with it. If you do that to your business, they will run with it. The same with any committee, from top level to lower level. If you let one or two people run with it, they run it the way they want. And the rest are excluded in ideas and contributions, and they just sit as passengers in a car. Don't let your wife or husband be just a passenger. Okay? Admit there's a problem. It's something to deal with. And typically when it is small, that is when we need to talk about it and deal with it before it becomes big. You want to solve only big things? The big things started as small things. Number 4, spiritual blindness. Is spiritually blind, doesn't see. No matter how you explain, he's so spiritually low or he's so unenlightened, he can't just see. Spiritual blindness and spiritual insensitivity. You see. So whilst it is bothering me, it's not bothering her or bothering him. You see, regarding the children and the way you behave towards my family and neatness and the lovemaking and unromantic attitude, the spirituality, prayer and the word, contributions towards the work of God, and the way you don't have time for me, for each other. You are more married to your activities than to your partner, in the name of commitment, in the name of new duties. And it goes on and on and on and on. All kinds of excuses why I can't buy a lot of things for myself, but you do, and this, and you are. making yourself better with education, further education, and all that I'm doing is having babies and sitting there and saying, oh, when you finish having the children, it's 8, 10 years now. You see? Number 5, wrong influence and bad advice from family members and from friends. Typically, when you share a few things with the wrong people, don't forget, when you're talking to somebody, you're talking to every spirit present in the person's life. And wrong advice. Oh, for women, if you do this, and then she's taking that advice and behaving towards the wife or the fiancé or the in-law who's a woman who has come to the house. Even on the job. You see, when a woman is the boss and when a woman is the supervisor, this. When you are doing this with women, sometimes it's men. As for men, be careful about them and and the men. So wrong advice and family members who are opportunists, who also want to have a share in the marriage, a share in the business, share in this. They don't want things to change. If they are doing with you and you marry, they want things to remain the same. And they are scared that someone has come into your life, coming to take their share or reduce their share. And they'll try to advise you and everything. And use every trick to still keep you in tune with them. They are the people giving advice. Some people are married, everything they run to the dad, they run to the mom. And typically, if it's ministry, oh, my dad is a retired, experienced minister, a retired, experienced businessman, a retired, experienced politician, a retired, experienced this. We know that. Some genuinely, they help you to move on. But some will try to be advising you and make you their source of advice, that always you come to them and they will tell you in terms of them, so that they keep on also being in your life. Some politicians do that, from president to anything. Their term of office is ended, but they lurk around, won't move anywhere, and they're around influencing the government. Some pastors do it too. You see, influencing. And they won't let you see there's a problem, because the moment that problem is solved, they'll lose their gains and lose their influence. Lord have mercy. Wrong influence, wrong advice is not making you admit this is a problem. This is what your friend did and got the divorce and lost the business and lost the election and could not make progress. Number 6, prejudice and wrong mindset. See, your background and experiences you have had, what you might have seen in your home and someone's life, has made your mind prejudiced regarding issues like this about money, issues like this about relocation, issues about visa and about passports and travel and investment, you see, and savings, about parenting, living with in-laws, you see, allowing your brother's child, your sister's child, whoever it is, stepchildren, in homes, your mindset, you see. So we are not discussing to see in our situation, in this house, in this relationship, what will work best for us. Not what you brought in your mind into the marriage or what advice you are being given. And you don't consider my suggestions or opinions, what will help both of us so that God will bless us. You see, wrong mindset is not making you see. Sometimes the home where the one was raised, these things are nothing. This type of thing with women, with men, the relationship, money and things. He didn't get any role model, any direction and guidance and teaching. Go to him, you're making too much noise about this. This is nothing. What do you mean by it's nothing? What do you mean by it's nothing? It is something to me. Always regard the feelings and progress and welfare of your partner. So you don't run the marriage, don't run the home, don't run the courtship, don't run the ministry, don't run the organization, don't run the group or the corporation, see, or the business, only in terms of you. Number 7. 6 is prejudice and wrong mindset. Number 7, bad habits, you see, of callousness and insensitivity. bad habit of callousness, insensitivity. Okay? The person is just callous. He or she will do to anybody else. It's typical with in-law relations. Don't take it too personal. Whatever they are doing to you, they will do to anybody else who want to marry in that home, in that family. And insensitivity. Some are just not sensitive. You see, if you cry, it doesn't even move them. You see. And there are some who actually enjoy people suffering, especially when they didn't get what they want. They want classmates in terms of people going through what they went through. See, there are some who say, hey, when I went to school, when I was young, when I was living with my uncle or my auntie, when I traveled, I wasn't getting this. So I shouldn't get it, although it is there. And you are trying to train me in terms of 10,000 years ago, the training you had, you are forcing it on me here because I'm getting too much. What is that? Yeah, there should be discipline and self-control and all that. But be careful you don't train your children or treat your husband or wife or someone you're going to marry and this and that in terms of what you experienced long ago. Or there's bad example you saw. Or when there was scarcity or the one didn't have the means. You see, and you're using that in terms of your treatment in a relationship, in terms of this particular issue. You are bringing that treatment, you see, to dish it out to me. That's not right. So that is number 7. Number 8, demonic influences and attacks. Demonic influences and demonic attacks. Okay? So that is just the devil influencing your mind, attacking to destroy the marriage, attacking to make sure you don't marry. And every man that comes, every woman that comes, there's always an issue of quarreling. You can't settle things. The one goes away. The relationship doesn't last. So there is satanic, a habit of yours the devil is using, of impatience and hard words, which you copied from your mom or your dad or your situation. Somebody didn't have their dads training them. Dad wasn't there. Mom, whatever it is. Or sorrow and sadness from a parent passing away when I was little, and my parents divorced when I was little, and all kinds of things. So the hurt and things are in them such that their minds are closed. They don't want to learn anything else. It's fighting for themselves, even when there's nothing to fight for. When they have it, they're still fighting for a right that doesn't exist. Because my ancestors went to, what is that? My mom went through this, my dad went through this, my great-great-grandfather went through this, and all this, and he's still using it in this age to behave towards people, to fight for rights that he has already. He doesn't even know what he's fighting for. You see, that is why we have to be very careful with the history and information we give children. You see, there should be a balance. That is the whole idea. Demonic attack. Number 9, low spiritual state and no fear of God. The person doesn't fear God. He's in a low spiritual state. So there is no fear of God to be concerned about right and wrong and to have consideration and sensitivity for the needs of people, people's feelings. The person is so spiritually low. And if your partner is like that, the problem is not what you see and all that bothers you. It's a fundamental spiritual problem. He needs more of Christ, the power of God, the fear of God to be built through the word and prayer, listening ear, and a spirit that wants to do things right. It's what you have to work on. If you just try to work on the branches and fruits, the tree is there and the roots. Of a basic spiritual problem. That is why the one is doing all this, from adultery to abuses, irresponsibility. He goes, won't tell you where he's going. He goes and comes late. Some even sleep overnight, and his life making is poor, and even health issues and financial issues, secrecy, and all these. The fear of God is gone. And it doesn't matter the position even in church or in the society. The fear of God. Some had it before, it's gone. Some have never feared God. They try to be nice and good. After marrying you, the character comes out. You see, tea bag in the hot water, now the color comes out. So that's number 9. Number 10, there is no true love and there's no commitment to the relationship. The person never has had true love for you and for God and the relationship, and is irresponsible. There is no commitment to God, commitment to duties, commitment to you, and commitment to responsibilities. All those commitments must be there. You see, you should plan everything around your family. You don't plan everything and see where to put your family. So when it's holidays, you are free, you are this, you think more of friends and going here. Sometimes you are deceived to think, I'm going to see my mom, my dad is not well. My dad, my mom, my dad, my uncle, my this and that and that and that and that. On friends. Some have transported what they used to do on campus. Every Friday night, they go with their friends out. Every Saturday, they do this. And they have brought it into the marriage, polished it. So every Friday, same thing they used to do. They go and sit somewhere drinking or just playing games, watching movies. And there's so much in him that he can't do anything with the wife on Friday evening. He has brought the single lifestyle of spending Fridays or Saturdays with friends into the marriage. And if it's not checked, and you don't see it as a problem, oh, it's okay, it's not. It can snowball and grow and expand till it becomes a big one because you get fed up and bored. You can't go out with your wife. You see? Then there's a huge problem. Or their husband, some women too, have their clubs and their groups, all kinds of clubs and groups. You see? Some even their partner will travel. They don't want to join the partner because they are used to their club. Some enjoy it actually. They have the title Mrs. The husband is in the US, in Canada, in Europe, somewhere, in Asia, and they are there. And that's when you build a house they live in, they get pregnant, come to have the baby in a foreign country, and come back. Some even know that when you divorce them, they can still use the title Mrs. according to the laws of the land and all the rest of them. So some of the women too don't want to be committed. To go and live the old life. Maybe you met her, she was in a club, the group, and doing business. Some do business with their mom, their dads, their uncles and things, both men and women. And they marry and it is still there. They are doing church with their brother, their sister, their friend, their dad. And they are married, they are still attached. The church, the business, the organization, the outings, you help him, he travels with you, is so attached to you that area of your time in the marriage is for the family member or your parent or your close friend, former boss and all that. It can be for your partner. And you say it's not a problem? It is a problem. Some too don't care. If you are doing this, me too. When you go for 3 days, I'm also going for 4 days here. And you are destroying yourselves. And poor children have no role model. And the children can seriously affect them negatively when they grow. Admit this is a problem, we have to do something about it. There's no true love that makes me stay home, that makes me responsible, makes me committed to the person and to the God who gave you the person and gave you marriage. Gave you, even if it's a job, God gave you the education. Be committed, study well as a student. Be committed to the scholarship. Don't just use it to buy shirt and shoe and things and walk around. You know, the school where I was in the Bronx, did my PhD years ago, some scholarships were curtailed. They were stopped. They were no more given. So when I asked a friend, he said, you know what? Some foreign students, when they came and they gave them the money, they used the money to buy a taxi. And they stopped school. That's what we're doing. They stopped school. They become taxi drivers the rest of their lives. Unless maybe they grow to some stage and decide to go to school a little bit. So the authorities said no more foreign scholarships for some people because some people have set that bad example. Okay. It's a problem bringing your old habits into the marriage and you say it's nothing. Number 11, abusive and wicked. He has such a spirit. And it shows in other areas where there's no compassion for people he or she is dealing with, even on the job. And he can be in church and is still there, or she can be in church. And you can see how you are at home is what you bring to church. Church is there 2 hours, 3 hours, maximum we go. But all the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you come for some meetings home. But you come and show up when you relate to people. In your unguarded moments, it will come out. It will come out. Okay? Abusive and wicked. And so he doesn't feel it. To him, it's not a problem the way I talk to you and slam you and cut you with my words. You see, and when he hits you, he says it's your fault. He was just stopping you from doing something. Stopping what? You everybody gave me a punch or slapped or did the thing. He said, I was trying to, I just raised my hand and accidentally it hit him or hit her. No. Let us not forget God is watching us. You want him to bless you, do what is right. So that is number 11. Number 12, foolish and unwise. Some people are just foolish. They just refuse to seriously use their brains to do what is right. See, and it shows in so many other areas. It's not a problem. It is a problem. Admit it. Admit it. You see, don't be unwise. Because you see, when you're alone and you're unwise, you suffer alone. But even that, if things happen to you, people will have to care here and there. But when you are married, courting, working with us, doing things with us, relating to us, if I live in the same place with you, it affects people. So anything you do which affects you, your success or your failure is not for you alone, it's for everybody else. It affects society. Some people do all kinds of things and then people tax dollars. They work and sweat and then they pay tax and has to be used to help you. You think it is not affecting them? What would you use to do something else which will benefit all of us? You have to use to look after you in a program. You're not an island alone. So that is number 12. Number 13. Sometimes when people are not admitting problems, it's because they want a way out. They want a way out. Separate, divorce, or whatever it is. Yeah, there are instances where the one has suffered so much from a lot of mistakes and abuses and sufferings and neglect and denials in so many ways, and wants to be away for a while because I'm so confused, I can't even pray. He doesn't want divorce. He wants to separate, to focus and pray, reorganize, then they come back. That is why sometimes it's recommended when you're killing yourselves, you can't even think. There's a lady who started having heart problems. You see, then be apart briefly, be praying, don't convert it into divorce. You separate, work on yourself, you agree, and then you come back strong. Then whilst you're away, you begin to be discussing things, and then you come back strong to properly marry. You see, instead of one just dying, slept, didn't wake up, heart problems. Or the one just got fed up and hit the other person. You see. So these are some of the major reasons why people don't want to admit that they have a problem. But the big one is the pride factor and the arrogance. And one time what we call shyness. I'm a private person. Who is not private? Who wants his thing to go on air and the newspapers flying in the sky? When you want to control somebody, so, oh no, I don't want anyone to, you see, I don't want my things to go out, so I don't want a counselor, whatever it is. No one is saying if you run around, you can't think for yourself, and then people should always tell you what to do, even brush your teeth or eat food. But you must admit, you need an accountability partner and a mentor. No one in this world will totally succeed without any form of counsel of any kind. Someone pulling your shirt, pulling your coat, advising you, opening up yourself to be advised, to be talked to. And if you're listening to me, anyone who is married, who doesn't want anybody else to talk to you, sometimes parents, they are not to interfere, But a little advice can help. Or somebody somewhere have a mentor. If something happens in this home, and my wife can't call anybody, that is bad. That is bad. Have a confident accountability partner and a mentor who really loves you. Not just going for counseling. I don't even want to say I'm going for counseling and things. But someone you want to talk to who can think through things with you, shares ideas with you, and understand you and loves you, can support you. You need human fellowship, fellows on one ship. That is why God brought another human being who is different to complement Adam. Even Jesus in Gethsemane took Peter, John, James to go and pray with him. Even God. Who are you saying you don't need anyone to pray with? You don't want anybody to talk to, and you are just controlling that woman. Some of the women to control the men, and that is what you're doing because it's making you selfish gains in the marriage so that it goes your way. Please don't. Because in the end, when you're put in that casket and you go 6 feet down there and the soul goes to meet God, you're in trouble for eternity. Do what is right. Stop controlling your partner. Whether it is business or church board, committee, and typically in courtship, relationship in that home, and stop dominating and controlling and manipulating with, I don't want my things to go out. If that's what you're doing, may the Lord speak to you. Let us admit we need help. Some of the divorces and problems, even death in some of the places, communities and churches in particular, wouldn't have taken place if someone had seen and had been allowed. Sometimes the people see, they don't care. And people have admitted we need help. Instead of staying till the wound festers and becomes putrefied and rotten, and you have to amputate that leg or hand, still struggling to live, when you could have avoided that amputation. May the Lord help you. Philippians 4:13, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. May the Lord strengthen you so you can do all things. You can forgive, you can admit things, you can be humble through Christ who strengthens you. Ephesians 3:16, strengthen me with power through your spirit in my inner man. Pray that prayer if you're a believer every day. Ephesians 3:16. We know John 3:16. Ephesians 3:16. Lord, strengthen me with power through your spirit in my inner man. And that's number one thing we need to overcome all the storms and obstacles of life. If I have inner strength. Okay? You can call me in the United States on 1-917-741-0643. 1-917-741-0643. Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. God bless you. What is an email? It is KISSEADOO@msn.com. KISSEADOO@msn.com. There is the broadcast on Joy 99.7 FM. Every Saturday morning, 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. A 30-minute broadcast. 5:30 in the morning to 6 in the morning from Accra, Ghana. Put in myjoyonline.com. Anywhere in the world. myjoyonline.com and go to live radio. You can listen. It's on Family Life. Hope for your family. Books in Ghana, go to Challenge Bookstores. In Ghana, call our ministry hotline 020-812-6533. 020-812-6533. Ghana code is 233. So 233-20-812-6533. In Kumasi, call 0275-353-802. 0275-353-802. So it's 233-275-353-802. Okay. There is a website, www.fruitfulministriesint.com. The ministry is Fruitful Ministries International Incorporated, an evangelistic and teaching Christian ministry. We work with churches, communities, schools, Organizations so work with us. Most of our leaders are ministers and leaders in churches. So Fruitful Ministries, RIES, Ministries, then International, INT, www.fruitfulministriesint.com. Go to Amazon.com, you get some of the book's Kindle versions. Put in Dr. Samuel, Kisseadoo, Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo. Okay, God bless you. May the Lord strengthen you. God bless you.